Yo, what up? This is Raging Rob. A few minutes ago I made a video. I went off in this group pretty bad because they're slandering me about something that happened 12, 13 years ago where nothing really happened, but the way they see it, you know. Well, anyway, I'm making this video because me, Raging Rob, I'm a truther. I like getting down to the facts, okay? I don't like putting bad info out. My dishwasher's going, so it'll probably be a little loud. And I realize sometimes I put bad info out there, not deliberately. Sometimes I get bad intel. I do my own research, and I suggest any of my followers do their own research before you start taking a side. But there's a Facebook group out there. They call themselves Truckers Against Pedophiles. And I can support what they do. They let the community know about, you know, a sex offender that's getting out of prison. Hey, he's going to be moving to the neighborhood. Keep an eye out for this guy. They put postings and wanted pictures up. Please help find this perv. You know, he molested this child. Or another posting they did about how so-and-so got so many years in prison for distributing marijuana, but this guy molested his 3-year-old daughter or niece or something, and he got probation, you know. So there's a lot of stuff I can agree with this Facebook group. They're against pedophiles, so am I. But me and this group have got some history. We have some history together, and it ain't good. And it's due to the fact that they want to slander instead of coming to the real facts. Instead of doing their research, well, is this guy really a pedophile? Instead of them doing their research, they just want to slander. I do my research, they don't. And that's why we don't see eye to eye. Because this idiotic group will believe anything that anybody tells them. In Truckers Against Pedophiles, if you are watching, yes, I'm talking about you. I support what you do. Not all of it. Sometimes you can be a liar or a slanderer. And yes, I am putting your name on blast. And you can come against Raging Rob for coming against a group that does not condone pedophiles. That's perfectly fine. But I advise those people to do their own research first and decide whose side you're going to take. Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being labeled something I'm not. I made a video here a week ago. Message to Americans Against the Tea Party. I forgot what I was talking about. I was coming against them for something. And in the video I basically said, you know, Phil Robertson, you know, married his wife. They're happily been together. And basically I said I had a friend who back in the day dated. They're now happily married. In the video I also said that I dated a whatever way you want to look at it. I was 19 when I started dating this 16-year-old. We're a little over 3 years apart. I know what you're thinking. I know what some of you are probably thinking. I turned 20 before she turned 17. And basically in the video I just stated, you know, we dated for a few months, didn't work out, we became friends. And to anybody that does not do the research is automatically going to start calling me a pedophile because Truckers Against Pedophiles, that's what they did. Automatically, well, he's sticking up for 2 pedophiles and he's admitting to be one. No. Do your research. You want the facts? Fine. The fact is, I went before her mom and dad got their approval to take her out to dinner, out to the movies. July 4th weekend, took her to the fireworks, had a good time. Just a couple having a good time together. I know I lost my train of thought. That happens. So anyway, this group has put me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I said that I would go out and file a lawsuit against him in court for defamation of character and slander. But I'm not, come on, let's be honest. This is stupid. This is social blogging shit. Okay? I ain't got the time for it. It's ridiculous. And even if I did go to the court and file a lawsuit, it's going to tie up the court system for how many years? For something stupid like this? I advise you people to do your research. What's the definition of a real pedophile? Is it somebody who is 20 dating a 16-year-old? And to put the facts out there, I hate to do this because it's nobody's business. But I'm going to say it anyway. No, I never had sex with her, okay? I did not. Okay? And the fact that it happened 12, 13 years ago. We're talking 2002 here. 2002. It's 2014. I advise you people to do your own research. I'm getting slandered on Twitter. These Americans Against the Tea Party idiots calling me a child molester. Because of something that happened 12 years ago. Something that didn't even happen. And I just accidentally slipped into one of my videos just describing things that happened in my past. I was putting out what a pedophile is and what a pedophile is not. And I just made a circumstance of, this is what happened. I dated a 16-year-old when I was 20. Nothing happened. But I'm just saying, maybe I shouldn't have put it out there. Yeah. Because there's, the fact of the matter is, haters are going to hate. These truckers against pedophile idiots, they're looking for any reason to come against me. Any. All because I questioned them on a post a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, they put up a post, something about child abuse versus child punishment, correcting your kids so they won't end up through the system. So my tax dollars doesn't end up supporting them in prison. And basically, what I said was, I don't condone child abuse, but I think there's a difference between child abuse and straighten out your kid so they don't end up in the system. So they end up being a successful member of society. That's basically what I said to them. They have it in their head that I was condoning child abuse. I might have said a couple things kind of out of hand, just not really thinking about what I was saying. I just kind of said, well, if you whip your kid's ass once in a while, maybe you'll straighten up. Pretty much what I said. Just jokingly, not trying to mean anything by it. They've taken that very seriously and supposedly have said I condone child abuse and talking about beating my kid. And first off, I ain't got any kids. Second off, I don't want kids. Third off, I would never beat a kid in my life. That's absolutely ridiculous. Let me put that out there. So basically, it just went back and forth, and a year and a half later, it just keeps going back and forth between me and these idiots, So if you're a fan of Truckers Against Pedophiles, I'm not saying the whole group is bad, but there's a couple of people that put messages out. They need to get the damn facts straight before they start putting shit out there. This is Raging Rob. This is what I do. I expose people. The New World Order, Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, whoever comes to mind that need the exposure. And yes, I'm putting them on exposure because they need to be exposed for what they do. They need to get to the facts first instead of just putting shit out there. Go ahead. Go to Truckers Against Pedophiles on their Facebook page and look at. I'm on their page. Robert Kinnison. I advise you to look at the facts first. There's two sides to every story. All right? My side versus their side. Now, if you have it in your head that dating a 16-year-old when you're 19 is a pedophile, more power to you. You know what a pedophile is? It's a 46-year-old that molests his 3-year-old daughter and gets probation. That's what a pedophile is. Serial killers, like Leslie Ann Williams up in Michigan. He's a pedophile. Richard Allen Davis. You're probably familiar with the Polly Klaas case. If Mark Klaas is watching, I'm very sorry to put your name out there. I apologize. I'm just trying to make an example. These are pedophiles. There's a 17-year-old in Georgia. This happened a few years ago. He was acting crazy. One night got a blowjob from his 15-year-old girlfriend at a party. He got 10 years in prison. That's not a pedophile. What's a pedophile and what is not? I believe in the sex offender registry. We need to keep track of these creeps. When they move into the neighborhood, we need to keep track of them. They prey on our kids, we need to prey on them. A very small percentage of them, a small percentage of them have turned. They did their time, they got out of prison, and they want to turn their life around. They want to be a better person. And I totally support them. Those that want to turn their life around. Those that want to forget about the past. Those that want to make amends to their victim. Hey, I fucked up. I was bad. I was an evil person. I found Jesus. I'm a better person now. I believe in sex offender reform. I believe the crime fits the punishment. I don't believe that somebody who was 17 years old, who got a blowjob from a 15-year-old at a party because they're drunk, should be on a sex offender for a registered sex offender for life. Or 10 years in prison. That's ridiculous. There's people on the registered sex offender, the sex offender registry. There's people on that list that don't even belong on that list. And are on it for life because of something stupid they did. But then you have people that are on that list for life because they deserve to be on that list. I'm talking about the child molesters, the actual predators. These older creeps that stalk young girls and rape them. Those are monsters, and we need to keep track of them. Somebody who 25 and had sex with a 16-year-old. I don't believe in lifetime registry. I believe that the crime fits. I believe the punishment fits the crime. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's people on the registry for life that went off to the side of the road on the freeway because there wasn't any rest stop for 20 miles or 50 miles. They went up to the woods to take a leak, and a cop caught them. Is that really what we want to put on the sex offender registry? You want to write them a decent exposure ticket, that's one thing. But this sex offender registry, I believe it's meant for the right purposes. Not because somebody got a blowjob out back behind a fucking crack house and some liberal that just happened to be walking down the alley reported it because John got a blowjob from prostitute Sally behind a damn dumpster. Come on, people. Wake up. The creeps, the pedophiles, belong on the registry. These statutory rape people, depending on the crime. If a 25-year-old has sex with a 16-year-old, put him in prison for a couple years, put him on the list for 5 years, keep track of him, just long enough to keep track of him. Oh, this guy isn't a threat. He just made a mistake. Then that's it. But putting him on for life? It's ridiculous. My question is, these child molesters, I'm talking about the actual pedophiles that do deserve to be on the sex offender registry. Why are they out of prison in the first place? If we gotta keep track of where they live and put a license plate on the back of the car and keep track of them and keep all eyes on them, keep them in prison. There is that small percentage that were fucked in the head. They made a mistake. And they come out and they want to change. Most of them don't. My final thoughts. Do your own research. There's going to be a small percentage of people that's going to see this video, and they're going to put the comments up. Oh, look at this pedophile. Oh yeah, he's a child molester. He admitted it on Americans Against the Tea Party video. Now, what I admitted to, I dated a 16-year-old when I was 19, 20. It only lasted a few months. Went to dinner, went to movies, did anything any couple would do. You know, any American couple would do. Just a young couple. Got the parents' approval, everything. The dad actually sat me down and said, hey, you know, this is my daughter. You respect my daughter. I want to know where you're taking her. I want to know, you know, what time she's going to be home. Have her home at this time, you know. Any responsible father, you know, common sense. And he even said to me, you know, you're 19, my daughter's 16, you know, the age limit here, you know. And he explained it to me, and I understood. This was 12, 13 years ago. Do your research. Alright? This is Raging Rod. There'll be more videos to come. I had to put this video out there because some people don't get it. And no matter what, there's always going to be a few more. There's going to be a few people out there that's going to see this video and they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. They're going to call me what they're going to call me and they're going to do what they're going to do. So go ahead and do what you're going to do and say what you're going to say and get it off your chest. You've heard my side of the story. And Truckers Against Pedophiles, you've heard their side of the story. Whichever side you're going to take, fine. Doesn't really matter. Because it's stupid. It's stupid that I'm even bringing this up. But people out there want to slander me. Do your research. Okay? Do your research first. There's two sides to every story.